If you've ever been to a paint store and were overwhelmed by the sheer variety and number of brushes on offer, then this video is for you. I'm going to explain everything you need to know about brushes, more or less, in under 7 minutes. Ready, go! Yo, what's cracking, folks? Jeremy Vassar here with a little video on brushes, and we're going to get right into it because I'm not here to waste your time. The majority of these brushes on the table are from Corona out of Tampa, Florida. Most brush manufacturers make a version of these brushes. So just throwing that out there, I'm not sponsored and blah, blah, blah. Before I get into all the different bristle types, I wanted to go over the shape and the size of the brushes. And one thing you're gonna see right away is that you're gonna have a choice between an angled brush like this guy here and a squared off brush like this one. And you can tell the difference. The angled one has this angle at the top of the bristles and this one is squared off. A lot of this comes down to personal preference once you start using brushes. Generally, old timers like squared off brushes because that's what they grew up using. They do lay down quite a bit of product. They can get relatively heavy if you're not used to them. I generally just like these for like doing like volume work, like painting siding and things like that. And with the angled brush, to me, it's a little bit easier to cut in and do tight cut-ins and be a little bit more accurate with the brush because you get a really nice point to it as you're cutting in and laying down product. So I really prefer angled brushes. So once you've settled on whether or not you want to try an angled brush or something that's squared off, you also have to determine what width you want. So this is a 2.5 inch, this is a 2 inch, and then you have an 1.5 inch. Generally these go up to 3 inches as well. My preference is a 2.5. It's a great mix of like just weight and size and all that and how much paint it can hold and spread. So that's generally where I steer most people. However, if you're new to painting or you're worried about like maybe you don't have the endurance or you're a much smaller frame, then you might prefer a 2 inch just because it's going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit easier to move around. But you'll kind of figure that out the more you give it a try. And generally an 1.5 inch, these are mostly used for like touch-up type stuff. Same with these guys down here that are a little bit more of like a specialty brush than something that you would use to like cut in ceilings and trim and that kind of stuff. First up is the Chinex brushes. The Corona's version is the Excalibur and the squared off variety is called the Edge. These are the stiffest of all of the bristles that are here on the table. They're used in a variety of applications. You can do interior, exterior, oil, or latex-based paints. These aren't really a fine finish brush, but guys use them for ceilings and walls. Not so much trim, but they do handle oil products really well, and they're very easy to clean out because of how the bristles are structured. A lot of dudes like using these for like fast dry products, particularly for exterior, because this handles thick paints really well. Because they're so easy to clean out, the fast dry products tend to start drying actually on the bristles. So when dudes have to wash them out multiple times in a day, these types of brushes do really well because they can take a beating and they'll still wash out easily, hold their form, and kind of keep doing what they need to do. Moving on down to the kind of medium stiffness bristles. Is the Corona Cortez. This actually happens to be my favorite brush of all time in this exact configuration, which is the 2.5 inch angled variety. So these bristles are a blend of nylon and polyester, but they're fairly stiff at the base, but the tips of the bristles are pretty soft, so it can lay down a variety of products really well. Works great for interior, exterior, latex, and oil. We use them for cutting in interior ceilings and walls, and then pretty much all of our exterior work. And then onward to the softest of the bristles, which is the Corona Vegas. The squared off variety is called the Vista. This is also a polyester nylon blend, but it's extremely soft. They call it champagne nylon, and a lot of manufacturers have brushes similar to this, but they're all like kind of ultra soft bristles. This is specifically made really to lay down more fine finish products like the hybrid trim paints, Emerald Urethane Trim and Nail from Sherwin-Williams, or Benjamin Moore's Advanced. Does super great with those. These are a little bit harder to clean out, and if you're thinking about cleaning things out, the Chinex is the easiest, then the Cortez, then the Vegas. But these are interior only. They don't hold up well to the thicker exterior products. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the black China bristle brushes. This one's called the Marquee, but these are super common as well. And unlike the Chinex, this is actual China bristle, which comes from the Chinese pig. And so that's actual hair from a pig. What's kind of cool is that these hairs have natural split ends, whereas in all the synthetic brushes, they have to do a process called flagging, where they take a razor and actually split the end of each little bristle. But these are oil-based only. Generally, this one's used for like exterior priming and things like that. The black hair variety tends to be a little bit stiffer. And less of like a fine finish brush. And then you have the white China bristle, still from the Chinese pig, but a little bit different hair. A lot of times you'll see these brushes have a little bit longer bristles, and they're used for more fine finish work with oil-based paints or oil-based products. So a lot of clear coats, polyurethanes, things like that, they do really well with, and they hold up to being cleaned with mineral spirits and things like that. Down at this end, I just have a variety of kind of oddball little brushes. Generally, we have a smattering of these in our bags just for weird touch-ups and getting into tight spots, like a short-handled, like stubby brush. You can get this in areas where you can't get a normal handled brush. Same with like these little artist brushes too. They're not anything special. They're just trying to get in places where some of the bigger brushes can't get to. Boom, so there you go. That's my quick once-over on brushes. I hope that was helpful. Until next time, y'all take it easy, work smart, and have a good one. Peace.
Amazing.